wanted to discuss with you. Now we'll start with this conventional software management. So conventional software management is about in this particular part we have to talk about two things: the conventional management and the modern management. In conventional management means we have to talk about traditional model. In earlier time, um, 1960s, 1970s, at that time, how the management of software was being done. And after that, how the modern software management changed the scenario, and what are the principles of them, of the conventional software management, what are the principles of modern software management. I'm telling you, you just listen the classes properly. There will be no need to go through the books again. Okay. So these questions I have seen in previous year exams also. Direct questions were there in the exam, um, especially on the principles of conventional software management and principles of modern software management. And about waterfall model, there was one question that in theory of how it works and in practice how it works. So these are things that you have gone through in software engineering also, but here you have to go through it in a little different way in this subject about waterfall model specifically, because in your syllabus they have mentioned it in a complete depth from waterfall model. So for sure question can come up on waterfall model in exam. What is waterfall model, and in theory how it works, in practice how it works, those questions can come up for sure. So this conventional software management, this waterfall model of conventional software management, obviously the classical waterfall model, the traditional waterfall model is part of the conventional software management, which is still prevalent in many mature software organizations when they have to work on some small projects, when they are on the starting stage, or when some new people have joined and they have to train them, then they utilize waterfall model, because it is very basic model, and if you start from basics it will help you out to reach to the improved versions in a easy manner. So it has served its purpose. Waterfall model, the comparison of conventional and modern software development models illustrates some of the critical discriminators in the transition. So that comparison, we will discuss what are the difference between the principles. From that, you can make the differentiation also between both. Life cycle typically follows a sequential transition from requirements to design to code to testing. So it is talking about the basic phases of any life cycle model, which are nothing but your requirement analysis, then your designing. Designing can be your module and system design, then your coding part. It can be your module implementation, then your system implement integration of the all modules, and finally testing. And after testing, the maintenance also counts. So, with ad hoc documentation that attempts to capture complete intermediate representation at every stage. So, it is talking about those life cycle models that you have to remember. And in life cycle model, here in this unit, the first part of the unit, you have to remember mostly about waterfall model only. And in modern software development, you can talk about iterative development, you can talk about spiral model. If you are comfortable about any one of them, that will be enough. You can give the examples of these ones in modern software management. So there are some principles of conventional software management that were there, and some of them were drawbacks, some of them worked very fine in the development of the softwares. So these principles, the conventional management of software follows. They follow. First one, freeze requirements before design. You have to gather all the requirements before starting working on the design or coding. Forbid coding before detailed design review. Till the complete design review has not been done, you should not proceed for coding. Use a higher order programming language. So obviously that is required for a good result of the software. Complete unit testing before integration. The module testing should happen before the complete integration of the modules. Maintain detailed traceability among all artifacts. So this artifact word came here again. Artifact can be your coding, it can be your SRS documentation, or it can be another artifact that you are utilizing. It can be your templates also. Okay, so thoroughly document each stage of the design. You have to document everything that you are designing or that you are taking decisions on. Assess quality with an independent team. So you have to perform assessment, you have to perform inspection to check the quality to find out the defects that it is talking about. Then inspect everything. You have to analyze everything that is being developed. So in the seventh point, it is about independent team. Then in eighth one, you have to inspect everything out of the team also. Plan everything early with high fidelity. You have to, according to the resources available, according to the things available in the organization with you as a team member, you have to plan everything. Rigorously control source code placement. So it is about you have that much of control on your source code so that if any requirements are changing on later basis, then basically in conventional models it doesn't happen. It is all about okay, once the coding is done, then it directly goes to the testing part. Okay, and there the problem occurs in conventional models. In early time, that was the biggest problem. So these are some principles that you have to remember. Again, I will tell you no need to cram it. Just remember some of the things which you are understanding properly, and that will help you out to make your answer. So this part we have discussed in our first class. So I have to tell you again because in this part question can come up for sure. This waterfall model in mid 1990s, it has been said that the software crisis happen very frequently, and the success rate for the software projects is very low. We have discussed about it. So that analysis we have discussed, okay, only 10% of the projects are being completed in the estimated budget in the estimated time. That analysis was being came up, and on the basis of the changed requirements, latest technologies, that skill is not available. Because of that, the software remain incomplete, or on the basis of the less number of resources available. Okay, so it remains incomplete. And also, if some requirements are changing in between, the available budget and the estimated things are not up to the mark, that they can work with that flexibility of the change. So that's why the success rate of the software projects is very low. Even the ICT projects in India and the government funded projects, it happen in real life that most of the projects are not completing on time. And there are several reasons for that I just told you. A lack of resources, lack of skills, continuous change in requirements. So these things, that means the team who is working on that software project, they are not ready for. So that's why this management becomes very important, project management, and that estimation of the complete thing becomes very important. Okay, so here about waterfall model, this particular part we have already covered up also, but I'm telling you this part comes under the theory of waterfall model. That on theoretical grounds, what waterfall models are. So the waterfall model part one, analysis and coding both involve creative work that directly contributes to the usefulness of the end. It has been said that only these two phases are enough for the development of the project. And with analysis of the complete requirements, everything that is coming up, that complete on the basis of that analysis, the implementation can be done and you can launch the. But in part two of waterfall model, several steps came, and these are your requirements, analysis, designing, coding, testing, operations. So in this one, since the testing phase is at the end of the development cycle in the waterfall model, it may be risky and it invites failure. In waterfall model, what happens that the requirements are being freezed first. You can't change them on the once the analysis will start. You can't go back again and again. It will be a complete rework. Okay, so that's why working with waterfall model becomes very much inflexible, and the testing is coming on the second last stage. Okay, that means up to the coding part you have already designed it, you have already implemented it. Maybe you can make the little changes in this iterative form that is showing over here. This is iterative waterfall model that you are watching right now. But in traditional waterfall model, those iterative loops were not there. Okay, but still in iterative one, it is not like in every phase testing is happening. That parallel testing is not a part of waterfall model. On the very latest stage, this testing comes up and it becomes a problem for waterfall based projects. Why it becomes problem? Because during this testing most of the flows starting to come up, and you will get to realize where you have made mistakes in designing part, in analysis part, in implementation part, and again you have to work, and this particular phase of testing takes the maximum time, and because of this your projects can be delayed. Okay. So we need to do either the requirements must be modified or a substantial design changes is warranted to break the software into different pieces. And on the basis of all these things, there are five improvements are being given for the waterfall model, which becomes a disadvantage of the waterfall model, or you can say the scope of improvements in the waterfall. That is your complete program design before analysis and coding begin. First, scope of improvement or disadvantage, you can say. Maintain current and complete documentation, document to complete design. Do the job twice if possible. That means if computer program is developed for the first time, arrange matters so that version finally delivered to the customer for operational deployment is actually the second version in so far. That means first try to launch a prototype or try to launch a beta version, then launch the final version of it. Okay. Try to avoid that you are doing the final launch in a one go. First, try to capture the audience, capture the customers, that what they need, what are their feedbacks on your developed thing. So that is the purpose of this do the job twice. Plan, control, and monitor testing. Obviously, in conventional models and waterfall model, this testing part is very crucial one. Um, Very much improved version is required was required at that time when it came into existence for testing part. And the customer involvement is very less in the waterfall model. That is also one of the another drawback of waterfall. So these things you have to remember. These are some of the scope of the improvements. And for this plan, control, and monitor testing, what you can do, you can employ a team of test specialists who are not responsible for original design. They can just work for testing part, and you can test every logic phase that is being developed, and you can employ the final checkout on the target one. That final testing is complete system testing is. So you have to plan accordingly when you will do that. How will you control that particular part and how you will monitor it time to time. So that one was very much. That is about the theory of the waterfall model, and then comes what happens in practice in waterfall model. So this part I just told you when the integration starts begin. You can see this diagram. This particular diagram is showing you the development project schedule is there, and then the sequential activities are showing you the phases: requirement, design, coding, integration, test. So what happens in this one in real time scenario? What happens when the project is going into the development? How much percent is being coded, and when the integration of the module start? So this particular part, this red, it is looking like a bomb, like it blasted. That means your all defects are blasted together, and suddenly your project become delayed, and your original target date is this one, but you are delivering your project on this. So it is happening most because of this part, because you have not handled your defects properly in the initial stages. In practice it happens. Okay, so that's why a lot of improvement was required to handle these things. So late design breakage integration begins, and here late design breakage too. Here you are finding out the flaws in your system and you are working over it, and that part is taking up the most of the time. Okay, that's why it is so much zigzagging is coming over here. No proper development is showing in this particular phase. So this graph is all about what happens in your practice when you are implementing any project, any development you are doing on the basis of the waterfall model or a conventional model. So in this particular part, the first thing, the projects intended for trouble frequently exhibit some systems. Like first one is your delayed integration. I will tell you some points that will help you out to remember things. First one is your delayed integration. So in this conventional model, the entire system is being designed on paper and then implemented all at one go. And then finally it gets integrated. Only at the end of this process it is possible to perform system testing to verify that the fundamental architecture was sound. So this testing activities it consumes 40% or more of the life cycle resources. I mean, see the figure. It consumes more than 40% or more. I mean, see, one part is consuming most of the things, half of your time, half of your resources. So obviously it will make it difficult for the development. So this management requirements, it consumes 5% of the life cycle resources. Design, coding and unit testing consumes 10 to 30%. Integration and testing consumes 40% and more. And finally the deployment takes 5% of the resources. Okay, so that I'm just telling you some of the points that you can remember. Okay, so that you have to remember in this particular thing. We'll continue this thing in our next class and we'll complete this conventional method and we'll see some of the principles. So that's it from my side for this session, and we'll continue